Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Shino. We're back in Vintage Story on the Rusty Gears SMP server. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. So, Shino's had a little bit of a cold, flu. I don't know what you want to call it. Ran a little bit of a fever. So, a little rough in the throat, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. Feeling better. Sid's been busy. He's been working on the pathways out here. Getting stuff kind of laid out. Got a nice little fountain going on. Looking nice. Yeah, so lots of stuff happening here. Purr's been working on the chapel. Things looking really good there. Very excited about that. So let's go over and take a look over at the Southtown area. Me and some of the other gears did get together. I don't have a whole lot of video from that. My voice was just not doing well, and I was just coughing up a storm. So I had to kind of take it easy. Close these back up. There we go. So we've been working over here. I'll take this down a little bit. So last time we left, I had the framework and everything done here. So now I've been going through and doing some chiseling. And again, you know, kind of thinking about how things occur naturally, right? So I've got this area here, people stepping on, stepping off of ships all the time. This area is going to get worn down. So chiseled that down a little bit. People, you know, talking, sitting around, people bumping into the piers. Corners are going to get rounded. So did that too. We got the, what do you call it? The dogs are put in here along the pier. So now I got to go and work on a road on ropes to attach that to the ship. I want to go ahead and do that as well. To do that and probably come in with some type of bumper, some sort to kind of go along here. I don't know. We'll find out. But anyway, so we've got that part done. The harbor master's house, or not house, but the harbor master's area looking good. You know, I had a few crates in here and I got a hold of Sid and said, hey, can you bring in some of your clutter items and fill this thing off? So he's done that. He's done it very well. So, you know, you got a little area here for the harbor master who's sitting here. You've got ledgers and all kinds of stuff that really, really works for this area. So well done there. I did add another little dock down here so that with a couple dogs, add dog. But anyway, so this will be like an area for smaller boats to come in. And of course, to do that, I wanted to change the bridge up a little bit. So I've created a little arch area. So now boats can come through here, pull up against here, tie in. Cool. I did talk about expanding out the beach area here. Did that. So that's all done. And then now we're working on some of the area here along the waterfront. So again, that was me crashing. Let's go down here a little bit. So, oh, that's food. Let's eat. Num, 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 num. Bamboo shoots. So let's talk about this a little bit. We had, this is a fun conversation we had. Purr was over here. Sid was here. Gran was here. Punk was here. And, you know, it was kind of like, well, you know, what's the plan for this? And it's like, well, there's really not a plan. You know, it's wabi-sabi. It's the idea of organized chaos, right? So think of it from this perspective. You know, we're kind of telling a story here. We've got settlers that came in. They've worked together to kind of build the framework of what they need here. And, you know, they've got some primary homes coming in, or not homes, but facilities coming in. So we're going to make this the workshop. So we'll have, you know, have an area here for a windmill. We'll have a helve hammer. We'll have all that stuff kind of set up, right? But, you know, people are going to be they're going to be living in the barracks. I talked about that. So Punk's going to be working on building the barracks over there. And the barracks build is going to be where kind of like everybody who was sleeping on board the ship, you know, wanted a place to stay. So we're going to have a barracks over here, lots of beds in it. little foot lockers, things like that. Then as people stayed here longer, they decided they wanted to kind of build their own homes. And so, you know, you might have, this might have been the first home that went in up here. And then somebody came in and said, well, I'm going to put me a place in right here, you know? And so they've got a spot in here. We've got a little walkway that comes around, then back up this way. Oh, there's Punk. Howdy, bub. And then we have the workshop up here. And then other people were like, I'm going to build me a house here. So I built this little kind of fishing shack right here. Nothing fancy about it, but, you know, just a little area where somebody's like, I'm going to build me my own place. I don't want to live in the barracks anymore. I'll build my own place here. Now you're going to see that the person who built this independent of, you know, anybody else. So their build style is going to be different where they want it at. Well, let's say, for example, you know, then I've started working on this right for the, right as we got done. I was like, well, you know, maybe somebody decided they wanted to build a house right here. And, you know, they want to attach to this path right here, but they also want to be attached to this path. So they're going to build their own dock across here, which is going to kind of impede on this person's dock. They're going to use part of their dock to kind of create their own. No, you know, no permits, right? No planned city, just kind of building wherever they want. They're their own people. There's no government here. So they're just going to kind of build as they want. So for those of us who kind of plan out our builds in Vintage Story, that's a very hard concept to kind of go with, right? The industrial area that I'm building, the house and the gatehouse and all that, that was all planned. That wasn't, you know, spur of the moment. But this kind of stuff is not planned as far as, you know, we're going to have a bit, you know, we are saying this sort of building here. We may put a building here. That kind of stuff is planned. But the shape of it, the style of it, the utilitarianness of it, that's not going to be planned. And so for some people, you know, that becomes a little difficult to kind of come up with. So it's kind of fun. I told Gran, I was like, well, you know, you think about it, people who exercise and athletes, you know, for them to build muscle, they have to really strain the muscle. And is it any different with intellectual strength? Sometimes to make ourselves grow and to become more powerful mentally, we're going to have to strain that muscle a little bit. So I did reach out to Sid and said, hey, Sid, can you build me a crane for this? Going to be for unloading cargo. So we're going to have to put in another harbor right here. He's done a great job. So I'm going to put in another harbor slip like right out here, or, you know, might take it right out across this way from that side. I don't know yet. But anyways, he was kind enough to do that for me. So we got a crane there. And of course, then on the opposite side, we're going to put like another warehouse probably right in here, right? So I have been thinking about that. Let me put my mask back on. There you go. So I've been thinking about that. I think what we're going to do is we figure this out probably. Let's go like right here. And I'm going to take it all the way over to, I'm going to get rid of these right here. Let's dig this out. There you go. And we're on that line right there. Yeah, let's go right about here. Okay. So we're going to build in a little dock harbor area here. But it's going to be part of a warehouse. And so let's take it back. Get it up here on the ground a little bit. Like about that size right there. Cool. And this is that kind of that wabi-sabi part of it. I'm not really looking at it and saying, oh, it's got to be this size. It's got to be that size. Now I'm just saying, let's make it about this big right here. There we go. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to come all the way over. I'm going to come over like to here. There we go. And about there. Perfect. And then I will go ahead and bring it in. Is that on the line? It's online. Perfect. So what I'll do is I'll build the dock and attach it out here, you know, from that end to that end. And then we'll build this area here will actually be like a little warehouse storage area. Yeah, that'll work. Cool. So that's what I've been doing. Just kind of coming through and saying, nah, what about putting something here? What about doing this here? And letting it kind of grow organically. Second thing, you know, building in pathways. We talk about so many times I've said this before, you know, sometimes we like to go in when we're constructing something and we like to tear it down to kind of our own, make it our own, right? Well, sometimes building with the terrain really causes us to kind of think about how we're going to do things. So meandering this through, this pathway through, Grant's done a great job of moving this through. And so you can kind of see how this path is going to move with the contour of the land. So that's really good. I like that. And then anywhere where we have a building, you know, we don't have to have a road going to a building. We have a road, we have a building, you know, we'll just create an organic pathway over to it. Something else to talk about. So you see the water here. We've just been kind of examining this, and if we do the debug wireframe chunk command, you can see that it's almost like the water, like there's blocks being cut away. Everywhere you see dirt here at this level or lower was at one point sandstone. So that was sandstone, those were sandstone, that was sandstone. That might not have been sandstone, but I know that one was, and these were here. I had to replace those. Those blocks were missing. They disappeared. And we had the same that you see with like the water doing that was occurring over here too. So something we're going to keep an eye on. It looks like this chunk may be corrupt. We may be losing some blocks out of it. So we're going to keep tabs on it. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fill this whole area in with dirt and bring this water level up to maybe only 1 deep. And then I'll come back in and throw in some ice blocks, let them melt, or, you know, use buckets and get it to refill back in. But we're going to keep an eye on that. Okay. Turn my debug off. Here we go. Coming along really good. Now I have been going through and planting some bamboo. I've been harvesting a lot of bamboo, and so I'm getting the saplings. And one thing to remember about the bamboo saplings, you can plant them like right next to each other, and you know they'll grow. But this little area right here was created with only planting 2 saplings. So they do grow up in large clusters like that. So it is good to kind of keep them spaced out. Same thing over here. This was 2, maybe 3 bamboo shoots over here. So always good to kind of remember that. You know, don't need to plant them really, really thick to get them to grow. Same thing over here. See, I planted these up here too with only 1 or 2. There's 1 right there. So when that one goes, it'll spread out a bunch in that area. So bamboo is going to be an important part of this build as we continue to go. And we're going to be using a lot of it for our roofs. All the roofs will be made out of this bamboo as we continue to do this build. So what are we going to do in this episode besides just talk and chatter? We are going to continue to work on here to try to get as much of this done. And then we're going to tackle making our first Cooper nickel ingots in the game. This will be the first time I've ever made Cooper nickel in Vintage Story. So I'm kind of excited to see what I'm able to do, if I'm able to do it. So let me kind of get some stuff put away. I've got one project I want to work on here, and then we'll go work on the Cooper nickel. I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to get started here. I'm going to continue to work on this area right here. Now, I have not, again, do we need a cellar here, brew? Not at the barracks. All right, not done yet, but one of the things I want to talk about with when you're growing bamboo, if you go to the wiki, it does kind of give you kind of the ideal range for when the trees, for all the different saplings, for planting them out. And I kind of mentioned this when I was planting the acacia, that I just stack them right next to each other. And that's because the drop rate is really, really good for saplings on the acacia. One of the highest. It shares same with pine. Bamboo, let's talk about the way bamboo grows. Now, bamboo will grow in a cluster from a single sapling. So when you plant a sapling down, it will grow up several of these little stalk areas and the shoots all around that area. So I think it gives it a recommendation of 6 blocks. If it's not, I'll put the note here. I'll show it on the screen of what it actually is. But anyway, so whenever I go to plant down, I usually won't plant bamboo like right next to each other. Now, I didn't know this, so that during season 2, when I was planting bamboo around the Japanese garden, I was stacking it like right next to each other. I wasn't spreading it out. And now I realize, hey, that was a mistake. I could have actually made the bamboo spread a lot farther if I had not stacked it in there one on top of the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this out. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the bamboo shoots. Now, they don't count as vegetable. They don't count as grain. Don't count as protein. They don't count as anything. All they do is just give you food. So it'll give you 100 satiety for those. And to get them to work, to be able to use them, you put them in there. You put a knife on them, and boom, there you go. And they'll give you 100 saturation. They've got a pretty good lifespan on them, so you can munch on them. So while I'm down here working, I just keep grabbing and munching as I go along. And now when I go to plant these bamboo back, put one there, put one there, put one there. I spread them out like that. And this will come back here shortly, and this will be another kind of large bamboo grove here. Cool. And then we can use the rest of those for whenever we go to do some landscaping around this area over here. We'll be able to come in and drop in a few. I did that over here. This is only just from a couple, and you can see it really took off. I had 2 planted here, and that really took off. I think I planted 3 over on this side. I put 1 over here, and you can see how they spread up and kind of move around. So looks good that way. I like it. So we're going to continue kind of along that same idea here as we continue to build. Okay. I have got to finish this off. Getting close, but I had to get some more bamboo. So let me get this finished up. And then we'll come back and we'll work on the floors and the walls next. Okay, we're back. Need to get a bunch of the little stones together. Do I need to have... I can't swap that. Well, we're going to put this back here for a second. I just want to try something. I don't think I need to have... Yeah, you do. You got to have the hammer. So you got to have 2 hammers to be able to get home. Interesting. Candy's going to join us. Hooray! All right, so we are making some more cobblestone. Do that. And that. And that. There we go. Let's see if that's going to be enough to get us. I'm going to go ahead and take those 4. I used the wrong hammer to begin with. So let's do that. So 4 get you 10. I'll just put those 10 in here. There we go. And we'll have them for later. All right, so let's go back over and finish this. We need... We're going to have to do something with windows here as well, aren't we? All right, let's take a look at what we've got so far. Let's start working on... Yeah, I need to finish doing something over here. Let's start working on this floor. Let's get these walls kind of brushed away here. So, I don't like having... Yeah... See, I don't like that right there. So we're going to have to do something about that. And that one. There we go. I started to do a little bit of landscaping over here, just kind of, because I didn't want to use a whole bunch of the sandstone. But if I got to do it for this side, I might as well do it for that side too. So we'll leave it like that. Okay. And then inside here, we're going to come in with boards for doing this area. And we'll put the cellar over here in this area as well. Do that. But yeah, this is going to be the main workshop area. I've got a spot here for skylight going straight up. Looks like I'm missing one right there. I got to put that in for the roof. But I've got a spot right there for the windmill. So we're going to work and get the windmill together. But let's get this floor done first. At least. And then we'll look and see if we need to do anything else inside here. I know we got to do some doors too. And Sid was nice enough to bring over some paned windows. But I think we're going to mix it up a little bit. So he brought in the leaded pane windows, which are the ones that, you know, the leaded ones, which is good, or aged, I'm sorry. They're pretty, you know. Oh, I got to get another. Let's go do that. Let's get rid of you. Okay. All right, let's go back and take care of this. Which are nice, right? But remember, we're kind of in an area that's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. So it's not like, you know, everybody is going to have access to aged wood. So I think we might do some leaded pane glasses out of kapok and out of acacia and out of oak and out of walnut. Again, primarily using the things that came with us on the boat. We don't want to bring stuff that, you know, we don't want to introduce a resource that we don't have access to within the storyline that we're kind of building here for this little village. So, we need to get more kapok. Yeah, let's get some more kapok here. And I think I'm going to do these as slabs. You know, that's one of the things I like to do for floors is slabs. There we go. We'll use that. And probably ought to grab some more. Just to be careful there. There we go. All right, we'll see if that works. So I think the kapok and the acacia, I think when you're talking about using sandstone, of course, sandstone's probably one of my favorites to build with. Conglomerate probably is my favorite. I don't know why I like the conglomerate so much, but I think it is probably one of my favorites. But sandstone works very, very well because you've got, if you look at the colors, you can see you've got the whites, you've got the browns, you've got some oranges in there, lots of colors that you can use with it. So it's, you know, when you're together like this, it gives it kind of that, I don't know, it seems to bring the browns out more, I guess what I'm trying to say, in the kapok. So I think it works well with it. All right, there we go. Okay, so the floor's all done. We'll have to get some doors in here for the different areas. But yeah, this is working out pretty good. So again, you know, we've kind of talked about this a little bit. You've got the main buildings here. These are the two administrative areas, right? The dock masters here, the harbor masters here. And then you've got the, I don't want to call it the governor's office, but this is the area, you know, where the people, probably where the captain had moved his office to here once they got to the new area here. I've got a little fishing village down here. Got to do some work inside here just to make sure it looks good and cool. We're going to be working on another build over here and here. And we need to do, of course, the put in another dock here, and then a dock and a harbor and a warehouse over here. I think will be good. So those are kind of the things that we need to get done over in this build area. I've got a few items here that I'm going to convert back over to boards just to make it easier to store them here. And then we're going to go over and we're going to make our copper-nickel. There we go. And a lot of these tools, I'm going to go ahead and leave them behind here so that anybody who's over here working and they need some stuff, they can grab it and use it while they're here. And that's my chest, but anything in here we need, you know what? Let's take it with us. We'll check it whenever we get back over there. We might need to refill it anyways. And then, do I have any space? Yeah, let's grab some of this dirt. I'm going to take a lot of the high fertility stuff with me, or the medium fertility. And I'm going to leave the other stuff behind. Like that. And we'll take that. All right, cool. Okay, let's head back over to the industrial area. All right, so it is night, unfortunately, but that's okay. We will, we'll do this anyways. So one of the things you've been seeing me do here, maybe, you've been paying attention, is getting the coke going. Coke is not something you use a whole lot of in the game. You can, if you wanted to, but it is like anything else in the game. There is advantages. There's time it's required to convert it. And there's advantages to doing that. For example, we know that if we take firewood, we can burn firewood and we can get, 700 degrees Fahrenheit. Or we can burn charcoal, and we can get it to 1100. Take a look at it. 1300 degrees Celsius. Okay. But if you, or you can use brown coal, and brown coal gets you to 1100. But if you take that brown coal and you cook it again, or black coal for that matter, you cook it again, you can get a temperature of 1340. And you'll see it's 80 seconds. So a little bit longer, a little bit hotter. And that's important, especially when you're talking about making copper-nickel. Copper-nickel is not something you're going to use very often in the game. Let's take a look at it. There we go. Copper-nickel. It's not something you're going to make very often in the game, but it is used for a lot of the Jonas items that you're going to be needing. So it's something that we want to kind of go through this process on, because I would like to get maybe the night vision mask, right? That'd be something that I would like to have. You use a temporal gear in it, and it gives you night vision for a certain period of time. So might be cool to do. To do that, we're going to need to make electrum, and we're going to need to make copper-nickel. Electrum is silver and gold, and you got to get it to a temperature of 1010. Well, that's not hard. Remember, we just looked at it, and heck, we could use brown coal and we can get it to that temperature. But to make the copper-nickel, you need to get to a temperature of 1171. So you've got to get to something that's going to give you, I'm sorry, not 1171. You got to get it to a temperature of 1325 to melt the nickel. And again, we've already said that the only thing we can get that's going to get us above 1300 degrees is coke. So to do that, that's what we got to get to. So for making the copper nickel, we're going to need to go with 3 parts of copper and 1 part of nickel. So everybody's been bringing me lots of copper. Thank you all very much. Let's grab that. And I went out and harvested me a bunch of nickel, or pentallidite, as it's referred to in the game. And we're going to need a 3-to-1 on that. So what I'm going to do is we're actually going to start with this one right here. And if I take and go this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I do this 1, 2, 3. Oh, let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should be able to do that much and that much. And that should give me a good ratio. Let's see what that ends up with in this crucible here. Okay, so now that the heat almost has us to 900 degrees, let's swap over to the brown coal. So we did sticks first, and then we did peat. And now we're going to do the brown coal. Brown coal is now going to get to 1100 degrees. So I'll come back once at 1100. All right, and you can see how it's slowing down getting up there. So it's finally up to 1100. So now we're going to go to the normal charcoal. There we go. So we went sticks, then peat, then brown coal. And we're going to let this go until it gets to, until this gets to 1300 degrees. I'll be back. Okay, we're at 1300 degrees. So now it's time to put in the coke. Now the coke will burn for 80 seconds. The charcoal is 40 seconds. So this is going to give us twice as much burn time. Plus it's going to get to a temperature of 1340. Now this, the pentallidite, does need to get to 1325. So it's going to be a little bit of time before it starts going. So I'm hoping that to get 17 ingots, this will be enough. So we'll come back and see. All right, so it is starting to move. I'm going to put the mouse cursor right there, and we're going to see how far does that green bar move while we're using 1 piece of coke. And that'll give us an idea if we're going to have enough or not. So I'll come back and we'll check it. All right, so looking at it, looks like when this one gets done, it's going to have doubled its space from where the pointer was until where it is now. So 1 more should get us to half. That means 4 more pieces of coke, and that should be enough to go. So I'm going to let this continue to cook. We'll come back when it's time to pour. All right, we're almost there. You can probably take that coke out. So we got 25 left. Started off with 32, so 7. Not bad. Not bad at all. There it is. Very nice. So this is the first time I have ever in Vintage Story made the copper nickel. And what's funny about it is even people that I've been watching play for many years, I've never seen them make this. So it's something that's been in the game, I think, for a little bit, but hadn't been really a lot of uses for it until they started introducing the Jonas parts. But I am pretty excited about this. Should be 12, 13, 14, 15. Should be the last one. There we go. 17 ingots worth of Cuppernickel. And I think with the amount of coke that I have left over, that probably, I mean, easily, I use 7, so I can easily do 3 more sets of this. So probably will be something I will do between episodes. I'm going to continue to make more and more of the coke here as well, so I can get that going. Now it's a matter of getting all the parts that we're going to need. So like if we wanted to make the night vision mask, okay, we're going to need the night vision mask emitter. So there's 1 ingot of Cuppernickel we're going to need there. So there's 1. For this piece we need another one. That's 2. For this piece we need 1, so there's 3. That's a part, metal parts, and those are all metal parts there. So we need 3 Cuppernickel ingots to make the night vision mask. So now it's a matter of finding, you know, do we have the rest of the stuff like the metal parts, the temporal alignment, all of those. And these are all things that you can't make. You either got to get them from drops or from the corrupted saw blades. So if we don't have them, we're going to have to go hunting. So we're going to start gathering up all our Jonas parts together. And next episode, when we come back, we will be in a predator situation to see what all we need as far as the Jonas parts go. And when we come back, we are going to go and continue working over on the Southtown City and the Harbor Build area. Hope you're enjoying it. I know I am. We're going to be having something kind of cool happening here pretty quick with some visitors coming onto the server. So we'll be watching for that. May 4th, we'll have Quentin from Hakobi-te and from QP Tools, the chisel mod that we all love using. Yep, he's going to come on the server with us, do a little bit of a tour, hopefully do a little bit of fun conversations about how to use the QP Tools better for us. I know I need a lot of help with that. So that'll be fun. And then we're also going to have the team from the Better Ruins mod, the Vintage Story Builders. They're going to be coming on the server as well and spending some time with us on here. So that should be cool. I know I'm looking forward to it. All right. Hey, thanks for spending time with me. This is Shino, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.